The following is a Papi Chulo Radio original program. The views and opinions expressed in the commentaries and/or interviews in the following program are solely those of the individuals and are not views of Papi Chulo Radio, its parent, affiliate, or subsidiary companies.
Welcome to Are You Afraid Cult, the unofficial American Horror Story Cult podcast, a PapiChuloRadio.com original series. Papi Chulo Radio, pop culture on demand. Today is Wednesday, November 8th, 2017, and I'm your host, Jeffrey Aruz. During this podcast, we're going to recap, review, and dissect the latest episode of the FX series American Horror Story Cult. Please welcome my co-hosts, Priscilla Rocha.
Hey, everybody.
And Mark Estes.
Hello, hello, hello.
Let's jump into our recap of Season 7, Episode 10, which was titled Charles Manson in Charge, and aired November 7th, 2017. Here's the official synopsis of the episode. Kai recounts the Tate murders to the militiamen. Kai begins to suspect that a mole has infiltrated the cult and slips into a state of manic paranoia. I want to get everyone's initial reaction to the episode. Priscilla, what did you think of Charles Manson in Charge?
Man, I loved this episode. I thought it's the perfect mishmash of him losing his mind and the kind of the hint that it might not be all him that's causing it. I thought it was good.
Mark, what about you?
Yeah, I loved it because Evan Peters just continues to elevate. And I'm going to be honest, though, toward the end, I kind of got nervous because I was like, okay, what is there left? And not only what is there left per se, but you only got one episode left, and you just let go a shitload of stuff went down tonight. So I'm trying to figure out how they're going to get that taken care of.
Yeah, a lot happened, but it was so good. I really enjoyed this episode. Once again, just to echo what you said, Mark, Evan Peters was fantastic. He has been on point throughout the entire season. And, not just Evan Peters in this episode, though, but Adina Porter, Sarah Paulson, Billy Lord, Billy Eichner, and Grossman? Is that her name?
Leslie Grossman.
That's what I thought. Leslie Grossman. Just outstanding work. Kudos to all of them. It was just a really strong penultimate episode, and I've got to say that I genuinely have no idea where this is going. I have no idea where this is going, and I'm so pumped to see how it ends. I have a teeny tiny inkling of where it's going. Or at least where I hope it's going. I really want the ladies to win. But I genuinely have no idea where this could end up, because this could end up anywhere. And I really like that. Ryan Murphy has finally created and crafted a season that is totally unpredictable. So props to him for that. So before we get into a thorough recap of the latest episode of American Horror Story Cult, here's our announcer with a few special announcements.
Follow Papi Chulo Radio on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, @Papi Chulo Radio. Do you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns? Email us via contact@poppychularadio.com. Are you interested in joining the Poppy Chula Radio team as an on-air personality? Email talent@poppychularadio.com. Binge listen to your favorite Poppy Chula Radio programs by visiting poppychularadio.com/archives. You can also download tonight's broadcast and the rest of the series through Apple Podcasts and Google Play. Just search for Are You Afraid? Cult, and subscribe.
Thanks, announcer. All right, so we start off in the, I guess, recent-ish past. We go back to October 19th, 2016. It's the night of the final U.S. presidential debate. We're in the basement, the inner sanctum of Kai's home, and Winter and her friends are watching the debate. And Kai is watching them, watching the debate, and he's posting on message boards his support for Donald Trump. And there's talk amongst the ladies of like a huge victory for Clinton. But Kai is like, no, there's this strong sort of like secret support for Trump and support for his message. So, people aren't going to turn out to vote for Clinton, but there's this strong, loyal support for Trump that's going to take him over the top. And so one of Winter's friends, basically, ends up basically insulting Kai and insulting all of the alt-righters and talking about, all these alt-righters are like single, lonely men that basically just need to get off. And she offers to help, and Kai basically bitch slaps her, and she threatens to press charges, and she does, because 2 weeks later Kai is attending anger management therapy, and his anger management therapist is BB Babbitt. And she goes on to tell him that he's special, he's charismatic, and that he will be the one that will inspire women to take out their aggression, and that he will start this movement by being the face of misogyny, basically. And so Kai can be like the head of this movement. And so he agrees, that his purpose is to unleash this rage that women have, and that he will be a sort of martyr for men and mankind. So let's pause right here and let's discuss this. Kai, the debate, BB, let's talk about this flashback to about a year-ish ago, or a little over a year ago. Priscilla?
Man, I never let it be known that like I ever advocate violence for like any action, but that girl was being a bitch to him. Like I felt bad for how like how the hell was he supposed to react when she's like getting all up in his face and saying shit like that to him. Like I felt bad. Like there's nothing you can do except just kind of like say your piece and like move on. But shit, the way that was going on, no one, like I felt like in the back of my mind, it makes me realize what the point of this show is, because the point of the show is kind of like to let you see into like what the other political mindset like feels about certain things. And in that instance, like they feel rage, they feel bottled up inside, they feel like they can't do anything about it, and they feel like they just get punished for whatever actions they may come about. Like, so like I don't know, like I felt bad for him. But in another sense, like as soon as BB got her hands on him, I'm just kind of like, oh shit, this is why he's such like he's so charismatic and so good at like twisting everyone else's words, because he's gotten trained, he's he's gotten all of this perspective from somebody who was near an artist, someone who knew how to twist women's minds that way too. So the whole Scum manifesto thing in him, like it put that final Lego block to put like the puzzle piece together, and it was like, oh, now I understand like why he's that way, why this movement is the way it is. Yes, and like I don't know, I felt really happy. Like I felt like I had solved something.
Mark, what about you?
I first off, I didn't like the whole conversation about, this might be bigger than Obama. And I was like, ever. Um, I guess now hearing what Priscilla said, because when I initially like, she should have slapped. No, it's not. She should have pressed charges on him because all she was doing in my eyes was pretty much asking him, "How are you? You know, you are a cis het white male. How in the world are you marginalized?" You know what I'm saying? Like the sheer lunacy of what you're saying doesn't make any sense. Because they were saying like, well, because I mean, I really listened to opening dialogue between Winter and her friends. They were saying like, well, women didn't get a chance to vote until this, point, and I think they said black men got a chance to vote for women did, period, and all this stuff. So it's just always been like you've always been first. So how can you be marginalized? Like, so she was just pretty much telling him like, shut the fuck up, because you cannot sit there and feel some type of way because you felt like you weren't being heard. You've always been heard. And the one time you didn't get a chance to be heard, you go in a temper tantrum, and that's what somebody does in a temper tantrum. They lash out. So, but I couldn't, I really, to this, even though they gave a sympathetic edge to it, I can see clear through Kai's mind frame. It's just, that's what he does. He lashes out. He has moments where he's a idealistic, good person, with the whole horror house or judgment house, and then the whole thing with him like looking at Vincent for like, why are you doing this to our parents and stuff, stuff like that. Just like he had that moment of, okay, this is wrong, but he knew that it was wrong, yet he still went with it. And so I didn't have any sympathy for him to that point. But the BB part of it, at first I was like, this is kind of left field, but then it makes so much sense because this is how it's like the cult. It's like this ongoing, I don't call it illness. It's just like it passes on to different people. You know what I'm saying? Somebody sees somebody who was kind of weak and they build them up to be this egomaniac or whatnot because somebody who was not used to having power. It's kind of, I always equate people like that to the sixth season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where Willow, who we've all known to be like this meek girl for the first 3 seasons of Buffy, and when she kind of comes to her own during season 4 and everything like that, her power started growing. You can clearly tell from great seed planting on Joss Whedon's part, that Willow is not used to this power, and one day it's going to consume her. And I'm thinking that's the same thing that happened with Kai, because BB saw that and she kind of gave it to him, but she kind of underestimated him because he was a dude, because he was a man and stuff like that. She thought that she could toy with him or do what Valerie did with the 2 guys in her group, and that didn't end up being the case because again, she underestimated Kai because he's smarter than that, and he just went haywire. But she's, I see what she's trying to do, but when you see that you can manipulate certain people yourself, then it's like you go your own path. As soon as Kai saw he can do that, he didn't need BB no more. It's like when he probably selected the first person, he didn't need BB no more. He just, I don't know. So, but that's pretty much what I got from it. But from Priscilla's perspective, I kind of get a different take on it. But at the same time, like, I still get to have this sympathy for Kai because he knew what he was doing. It's like, cause he was just on 4chan, which I still have not even tried to even get on yet. So to even see what it's about. but they keep talking about it like it's a thing, and none of my friends, anybody I know, uses 4chan, so I might need to brush up on that. So,
Or maybe not.
well, I'm just be aware, because they drop it so much, and it's like, what the fuck is 4chan? I had to keep reminding myself, oh, it's that, So,
I know, right?
but yeah,
Mark,
yeah.
you're scum. You're a turd.
Oh no, I would be a, I would be a proud, free thinking turd then,
All right. I like it.
if I gotta be all this.
Oh gosh. Frances Conroy is magic. Like I love her. I like BB is so different than any of the characters she's played in the American Horror Story anthology. She's just so weird and intense and hardcore, and I'm glad that we got a chance to see her again. I'm so glad that we got the backstory, because the sort of like WTF moment from a couple episodes ago where BB and Kai were working together, I was just like, there's got to be some story there. So I'm glad they explained it.
Yeah.
It made sense. I didn't really feel sympathy to Kai. Priscilla, you're drinking the Kool-Aid, and I'm very worried for you. But yeah, I couldn't, hit the slap is what led him to BB, which I guess just really created the avalanche that is the Kai from today. So yeah, that scene was really interesting though, because if you think about it, like BB was really steering him in like the complete opposite direction of where he ended up. So to see him sort of, in my opinion, fake his way through whatever BB was saying and using what she was saying in a way to benefit himself in what he was trying to do was really like fascinating to watch. And he totally played BB. And yeah, so I was really interested in seeing what was going to end up happening to BB in the present day, which we will get to in a moment. So let's get into the present day stuff. We got a lot of information in the first part of the episode before we get this extended flashback. So let's sort of like go through what we learn kind of bullet point style. So we see Kai at another political rally in the park. It's being live streamed. I don't know if any of you paused and read some of like the live stream comments, but it was hilarious because it all seemed very real, and it was just so stupid, but in a good way. Like definitely Easter egg type of stuff. So if you didn't read it, any of the stuff, just go back and read it, because they actually took the time to like do comments and people sort of like bitching at each other, obviously on opposite sides of the political spectrum. It was kind of fantastic. And so it's a rally. Kai's talking about the incumbent that he's running against being a late term abortion supporter, and Kai ends up talking about the fact that he feels that he's being monitored by federal agents. And at the event, Gary is assaulted with a bottle of urine, and Kai is maced. So over on the ladies' side of things, Winter is trying to modify the ice cream truck, and basically Kai's like, we need to modify it, and we need to dispose of it. Not dispose of it. They need to put it in kind of like plain sight, hiding it in plain sight. And when Winter is left alone with Allie, they talk about Ivy. Winter's like, she's in cooking school, and Winter tells Allie that she really cared for Ivy, and Allie talks to Winter about her not taking responsibility for her actions, and Allie is like, she doesn't feel that Ivy's disappearance is Kai's doing, but Winter is kind of suspicious about the whole ordeal. And while Kai watches the news of his assault, he is very angry by the incumbent senator sort of like dismissing Kai's campaign, and his followers are also angry about the whole situation, and they blame the media for the bad coverage. And so let's pause right here because it's going to lead to the next section. So let's break down Kai's run for senator, and Winter and Allie's talk. Mark?
I was like, Kai, what the fuck are you doing? He thinks he's Donald Trump at this point because only Donald Trump is out there still having rallies after he's won. And on top of that, he has no rally. He's talking about going to running for Senate, I believe. And he said he got 2 years away from running for Senate. So I'm thinking like, yeah, you're doing a little bit too much. And, and the fact, and again, I kind of, the whole rally answered my questions from last week. Like, where is everybody? Why is everybody just sitting here just like letting this shit happen and nobody's trying to call him out for it? And so I guess Ryan Murphy's like, aha, bitch, I got you for that. And because I like how the girl who's recording and live streaming the whole rally and the debate and the protest saying like, they restricted our internet access, and and these people are walking around with like guns and stuff like this. I'm glad there's some people out there who are outraged.
There's a resistance forming.
Yeah,
If you read the comments, there are people totally against Kai in the comments of the live stream. The comments were a little entertaining. I had to rewind a couple times to make sure I got most of them.
I got one, but it was like one that was saying if you didn't like it, goes. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna read this shit. So I'm gonna go back and watch them again because I'm be mad as hell because like you said, Jeff, this shit is real. When you be sitting there like you get an alert from a local news place or like CNN, and it's like a conference going on, and people be just. It just irks the fuck out of me, and I just be like, let me turn this shit off. I get mad and ready to slap somebody here at work. Anyway, so
just don't slap them like Kai slapped them.
I'll probably slap them and run out the damn building because I'm going to jail. I am in a small country town, so. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. It was just weird for him to be talking about Senate. I'm like, dude, you're on the zoning committee. It's like, like chill the fuck. And it's again, it goes back to what I said earlier. Any little small taste of power. It's like a drug. It's like a hit. You got to get you never get the same high once. You can never achieve that first high. So he's trying to just do all this other stuff to try to achieve that high. And he's like failing. He's chasing it now. And so, but when that person sat there and maced the fuck out of him, I was like, yes. And they gave him a good dose of mace too. I said, I hope his eyes are red for the rest of the goddamn episode.
I know, that was amazing. Like all that milk. It was fantastic.
And then Gary was like, they're throwing piss. I screamed at that because I was like, I mean, that's what y'all are. Y'all are shit. I mean,
well, Gary already looks like he smells like piss. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he looked like he probably like rolls in it and like in a barn or some shit like that. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
And then
share. You can tweet Mark at Mark Estes.
See, don't do that. Don't do that. I didn't say this shit at first.
I bet you could wish you could turn back time now.
No. If I could turn back time, I'd sit there and make sure to be extra diligent about this damn election. But Allie in the winter scene, I'm glad that Allie was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And Winter's like, well, I don't believe you should just leave like that. And then Allie was like, bitch, you think you knew my damn wife because you had a couple of months with her. Bitch, please. And it's just, I love because Allie has upper hand now, and now she's sitting there making Willow look stupid. No, Winter. Excuse me, Winter looks stupid. And so, But I like the last line that she said. She was, and I'm paraphrasing here, y'all. She said something. So what makes you think Kai did it? If anything did happen to Ivy, what makes you think Kai had something to do with it? I'm like, to let Winter know, bitch, you got the wrong one again. I'm just want to let you know, just in case you haven't known. Each time that we've come in contact with each other, you got the right one. You got the right one, and I'm gonna let your ass know that you're not gonna get out of this at all. You can sit there, apologize as many times you want to. But no, because you could have prevented all of this. But no. So I like the little scene, and to see Evan Peters go into this whole manic, not manic, but just
Paranoia.
paranoia. It's just, it was scary, and at times it was unnerving because you knew he was ruthless, sane. I mean, in the realm of sanity that he's shown, you know what I'm saying? He was, calm, collected, and he could just sit there. But now that he's off kilter, it was just like anybody can go. And so I was scared for everybody that came in contact with him in this episode. Even some of them damn dull, dumbass, what they call them?
We call them the bros.
Yeah, the bros. Even some of the bros, I was like, he's gonna kill anybody. I was like, don't even show Oz. Like, don't even put Oz in the goddamn scene because I'm scared for him too. Because everybody was expendable at that point. But yeah, so it was great. I mean, that was some good acting on everybody's parts.
Priscilla, what about you? What did you think of the Winter and Allie scene, as well as Kai and his rally, as well as Kai sort of like starting to spiral into a deep abyss of paranoia?
Well, I didn't like. I was starting to see him starting to unravel, and I was like, you had already noticed this from like at episodes ago, like that it was already starting to occur. He was already starting to throw like temper tantrums and things like that when things didn't really go his way with the kid. So I saw that, and I saw it happening now, and I'm like, oh snap! You knew that every like cult leader gets to a certain point where like he thinks too highly of himself, and things just start to go a little crazy up in his brain, and like then it starts seeping over everywhere into his followers, and eventually somebody makes a mistake and everybody goes to jail. So like I'm expecting that to happen. I'm waiting for that to happen. But for now, I like that rally. I was pausing it to try and like get to see the comments on the side, and they really are they really are like the people that normally post and like shit like that on like news feeds and stuff like that and Facebook and things. It was funny, but I liked seeing um Chaz Bono go, it's me now,
Yes.
and have everybody like freak the fuck out. It's funny. Um, but I'm trying to think because what really got to me wasn't the rally, although the milk looked like it really soothed the shit out of his eyes. Like he looked like, yes, like I needed it. But the thing that got to me wasn't the rally, it was afterwards, the ice cream truck scene. That scene was, I was living for that scene. Oh my god. I want, like, ever since she killed Ivy, I was like, God, you're gonna glory in it. You're gonna live like vicariously through like this moment in your life for the rest of your days. You're gonna think about it and you're gonna like love it because like that's all you were thinking of at the time. So she was thinking about like, so when it's brought up again by Winter, she's not gonna be like all hiding and like with her tail between her legs. No, she's gonna bring it up and be like, hey, what makes you think it's Kai? And like just rub it in her face. And if anybody deserves this to be rubbed in her face, it's Winter, because
pisses me off that Winter does that whole thing where one episode she's like, no, we should be against Kai, and the other, and right within that same episode, she'll be like, no, but we have to protect Kai. No, but we should be against Kai too because of this. No, but we should free Kai. Like, she can't seem to make up her fucking mind about him. And I get that it's like the sibling thing, but it's fucking annoying to see as a viewer, and it, like, Winter just annoyed the shit out of me, and I'm totally glad she's gone. As a side note for future reference, I'm totally glad she's gone.
Oh my god.
I am too. We're not there yet. We will discuss it in full, but I will say once you cross Beverly motherfucking Hope, you're dead to me.
Oh my god. Okay.
You can have her, Mark, and you can defend her in about 30 minutes when we get to that.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
I think I'll defend her. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Priscilla, were you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So, I will say, I thought the rally was ridiculous. In a good way, just the live stream of it all, and the piss, and the mace, and the milk, and Gary fucking Longstreet. It was so ridiculous and hella entertaining. The ice cream truck scene was like really intense. Like I loved it. Like Kai, like talking about the feds listening and getting pissed off at Winter for like putting on the music and they're gonna catch us and all that kind of stuff. It was just amazing and brilliant on Evan Peters' part. And then Sarah Paulson with like this new swagger that she has as Allie. I loved it. And I mean, I think if she could, she probably would have killed Winter at that moment. She would have just used one of those little wooden like ice cream. You know how they give you at the ice cream truck where they give you like the little round thing of vanilla, and it comes with that little wooden spoon. That's so gross, in my opinion. I hate the wooden spoon. Like she would have killed her with the wooden spoon. Like it was just fantastic.
I think that, but I'm gonna give a little picture. I think Allie likes to torture people because she's all about serving them what they served her.
Exactly, because she was tortured.
Yeah, she was tortured. So she technically, we'll get to that in a minute, but I'll say that later on.
I like it. So let's get into the next scene. So Kai's with his bros, and they're sort of like bitching about like their cause, how it's getting all this bad press and all this sort of thing. And so Kai's like, you need to hear about the master. He had a master plan, and I have a master plan too, basically. And so he goes on to share the story during story time of Charles Manson and the Tate murders. And so it's August 1969, Beverly Hills, and members of Manson's family, Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Linda Kasabian, and Patricia Krenwinkel are at the Tate house, and they're ready to wreak havoc. They were sent to a particular address by Charles Manson, and they were told to basically kill anyone that's on the property. Now, in this retelling of the Tate murders, the Manson family members are played by Harrison, Allie, Winter, and Meadow.
Genius.
Yes.
Genius.
Although, I'm not gonna lie, like, Sarah Paulson, in my opinion, was almost unrecognizable. Like, they didn't even do much to her, but they did a really great job of, like, hiding her, in a sense. If that makes any sense.
With the hair or just in general?
Like, the hair. Like, I mean, I know it's her, but, like, I completely saw her.
Her jaw looked different. Her eyes looked different. Like, I don't think it was the makeup so much as it was, like, how she acted.
Yes.
Yeah, she, like, transformed herself.
Yeah, it felt like a completely different person.
it's like she let loose all of that pent up. It's like she was pissed off at the character that she was playing in Ally. Like, I'm tired of playing this bitch. Let me just go crazy. That's what it looked like. It's like they let her out the cage. Like, okay, sir, you can come out now and play. And she's like, oh, give me this. And she just went crazy. Excuse me. Sorry.
She really did, to be quite honest. And so the interesting part of the whole thing, I don't know if anybody noticed, but it cut into like an extreme like widescreen, that whole scene of like the retelling of the Tate murders. Like there were black bars up at the top and the bottom of the screen, which I thought was really neat. It kind of turned it almost into a movie because like everyone sort of had a nickname, and it looked like a 70s not black exploitation, but just exploitation film, like period. Um, which was
Yeah.
kind of interesting and unique in and of itself. And for those out there that don't know, I mean, the Tate murders, it really was a situation of like the wrong place at the wrong time, because I don't even think Manson knew like who was
He
living
did.
there. If you know any
Mhm.
of the history of Charles Manson, apparently he has history with the property. He was kind of humiliated on that property, and so that's why that property like held like a deep-seated anger in him. Did he know that not the Tates, but the Polanskis lived there?
No, I think, and this reason why I say, excuse me, 'cause I got a burp. Excuse me. The reason why he didn't know, because I think Roman Polanski had just bought that house, but is this still, everything was still connected. And I was gonna hold this until we get to like discussion, but I want people to understand that it seemed as if Ryan Murphy, with that entire scene, it seemed as if he paid attention and listened to the You Must Remember This podcast. They did a 10-part podcast on the Manson murders, and it is phenomenal. And it seemed like he listened to their podcast and reenacted that entire scene from the podcast, and probably from Helter Skelter, the movie, and other accounts and stuff like that. Because watching it play down the way it did, and he was like, when Kai was mentioning certain names, I knew those names because I heard that podcast. And so with each person that they came across, I knew who it was, and I knew how they were going to go. But to see it actually happen was crazy. But I don't think that Roman Polanski or Sharon Tate even knew of Charles Manson. It's like you said, wrong place at the wrong time, because it was so many people staying at that house.
Yeah. So we get a, I would say, an accurate retelling of the Tate murders. I've read about the Tate murders and everything that I haven't listened to that podcast. I will have to check it out. But everything that I read seemed pretty accurate. We have honestly an innocent bystander, a gentleman by the name of Stephen Parent, who was there visiting the groundskeeper and just left at the wrong time. He ends up getting killed first, and then they invaded the house through a window, and they end up torturing and killing Abigail Folger, the heiress of the Folger coffee. They end up killing I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Uh,
It
Woj,
was a real funny
yeah,
name.
Wojciech Frykowski, who I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, he was an aspiring screenwriter,
Yeah.
and Jay Sebring, who is a former lover and a so almost like a celebrity hairstylist,
Yeah.
and friend of Sharon Tate, as well as Sharon Tate at the end, a pregnant Sharon Tate. I believe she was 8 months pregnant. She was almost ready to give birth. And like everything was accurate, because I remember reading that the final words that Sharon Tate said were "mother, mother," because she was pleading for them to like kidnap her, take her away, kill her after she gave birth to the baby. And the whole point that Manson was trying to do. well, Manson asked them to leave sort of like a witchy thing behind, and so they wrote pig. I really don't understand how that's witchy, but that's I guess 1969. You're high, pig makes sense. And so the point of like what they did is that they were going to put the blame on some like random black people, and that
Yeah.
this would start a race war that never ended up happening. And so Kai tells his followers that Manson had the right idea, but it was like on a small scale. Like they need to take things to the next level, so they're gonna have a night of 1,000 Tates. So let's pause right here and let's break it on down. And I've got to say, we've seen a lot on American Horror Story period, but like this was like really intense. And it wasn't even that bloody, but just the idea of like the recreation of like the Tate murders, and like if you've read about the Tate murders, like they stabbed like the shit out of these people. Like it
Yes.
like insane. Like what they said was accurate. Like 16 stabs, 20 stabs, a crap load of stabs. Like it's kind of crazy. Like that whole murder is it's very sad, especially because Sharon Tate was pregnant, and even though her relationship with Roman Polanski was so weird, if you actually read any
Very.
of like her relationship, like Sharon Tate like really wanted to be like a traditional housewife. Roman Polanski wanted to continue his you know
Whoring.
whoring, yeah, basically. There was this great quote from Sharon Tate that she was like, what was that quote? It was something like, I grew accustomed to the idea that like Roman was going to lie to me, and I had to. What was that line? There was like this really great Sharon Tate quote.
I know what you're talking about because they mentioned in the podcast too. I just
Yeah,
can't recall what it was,
it was. I'm actually gonna look it up right now because it was a really great quote.
but yeah, she was. It was a horrible. I mean, I read up on stuff as well.
Yeah, there it
I
is.
just,
We had a good arrangement. Roman lies to me, and I pretend to believe him. So that
yeah,
their
now
whole
that's
relationship is
that's genius.
yeah, their whole relationship is just weird. But the murders are just oh gosh, it's insane and really horrific. So the fact that we saw it, and in particular this one, I guess this is probably the most famous one because of her and who she is and who she was the wife of, and her star, really was on the rise. I mean, she had gotten
Yes.
such great acclaim for Valley of the Dolls and stuff. So, I mean, it's just kind of crazy, and the fact that it wasn't even that they were killing her, because like there were maybe Jay Sebring and the screenwriter weren't necessarily big people, but like you have like the heiress to the Folgers, and you have Sharon Tate. It's just crazy how it literally was like the wrong place at the wrong time, but it was shot beautifully, and seeing the actors take on a different role and to really hide themselves behind these roles was really a fascinating thing to watch.
Like I said about the podcast, I had heard about Helter Skelter when I was like what 6 or 7. I think that's around the same time. I probably not 6 or 7. Let me say no, it was 6 and 7 because the movie came on TV and it was just the Beatles song was just so loud and it sounded so. I'm like, what the? This some devil shit, I'm like, I want to see this. This is when I was before I got deep into horror and stuff and everything. But
At 6 or 7, no wonder
yes,
you turned out the way you did. No, I'm just teasing.
yeah, no, you fine. But but no, it just I've always heard about Charlie Manson or Charles Manson because seeing those early videos of him when they like interview him in prison and stuff, and he just looked deranged. So just imagine this man being over all these people and everything, and how they were showing clips of them in the courtroom. not giving a care and all this stuff like that. And I don't know if that was overacting or if it was just, dramatization, but it enhanced the horror and the fear of this man. So fast forwarding over to the last night's episode, I, I felt that they did a damn good job without, like you said, Jeff, it was intense because this isn't a reenactment of something that, no, this isn't like a fictional character's reaction, memory of how something went down. This is actually what went down, you know. Um, and I think that's what was unnerving about watching it. It was just, it was, I mean, Jeff said already was sad. It's just knowing that these people weren't doing anything to nobody. They were just living their lives. And then these four people show up at their house and just start slashing people and just for no reason under the sun. I mean, to them they had a reason though, but to those people, just like why us, and it was just an American tragedy. It's kind of like, I think Kai said it himself, the summer of love had officially ended. It was shattered, and it touched. This is going back to what the article said today, the Vanity Fair article, and because I've heard this. I heard this claim other places though, but it shattered the population, the rich or the wealthy, because this happened on their turf. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of shook them, because it wasn't too long after that they actually found Charles Manson, his family and stuff, and just had them arrested and everything. Because if it had been anybody else, because if it had been any other type of incident, it took place somewhere else or something like that, I don't think that the cops would have put much, pressure on trying to find the killers. So they really did all that. But seeing Billy Eisner, Leslie Grossman, Sarah Paulson, and Billy Lord just play those characters, it was just genius. Because again, this is Kai's interpretation of what went down, even though it's kind of real accurate. It just, at that point in time, Kai is looking like, it's just how they portrayed it. Like, yeah, oh damn, I forgot his name. Harrison was down for the cause, so he'd be my Tex Watson. You know what I'm saying? Was it Tex Watson or was it Tex something else?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my Tex Watson, and oh, I forgot her name too. What was the name? Um, Harris's wife, Leslie Gross's character.
Meadow.
Meadow was this person. My real, I forgot Sarah Paulson, who she was playing, which Manson member she was playing, but she's really down for the cause and everything like that. And then there's so and so over there looking like she don't know. I don't know where to place her right now, and that's why Winter was looking all like, I don't know if I could do this, because that's how she's presenting to him at that point in time. And it goes back to me saying last week with Jim Jones and David Koresh and the Doomsday Cult leader, whatever his name was. He sees himself in all of those people. He feels like he's the latest incarnation of these people. And even though Charles Manson is still alive, he still feels like he's an incarnation of these people, like the modern day incarnation of these people. But what he failed to realize is that none of these people achieve their ultimate goal. And I don't know, it was just hectic. It was crazy. And he was like, well, we got to create our own helter skelter. We got to do our own thing. I'm like, okay, yeah, you've officially lost your fucking mind now. I thought you lost your mind at the beginning of the season, episode 1, but no, you've really lost your fucking mind, because nobody's going to fall for that. Nobody's going to be that gullible. But I guess he felt that because so many people believe anything that they're being told nowadays, that this is the perfect time to carry out a helter skelter again, or redux, or remake, or whatever. So.
Priscilla, what about you? Get into Helter Skelter.
Man, I felt the way they portrayed those murders was just so fucking visceral, so gritty and gruesome, and like you felt every stab. You just got when they got to Sharon Tate, like I flinched when like, and usually like, oh, like that they're just like prop knives, and it's just a whole bunch of like plastic and fake like blood syrup or whatever, like, but it looked, I don't know, it felt real, and it felt wrong to me, and the way how do I phrase the way wow, what's her name? Not her name's escaping me.
Sarah Paulson?
Yeah, the way she acted was fucking insane. Like, just, I don't know, like a witch or something, just egging people on to like do more and more gruesome, brutal things. Like, if you've never like listened to You Must Remember This, like you really should for those Manson podcasts.
Oh, Priscilla heard it.
So
Yeah,
you have heard it. Awesome.
they're really good. They're really detailed and really good. But just God, like I've never seen like I Manson was never one of like the cult leaders that like I was really super like entertained or like interested in. So like I never researched anything like on the murders. The closest I've ever come to that is listening to that podcast. So when it came to actually seeing stuff like this, I was just taken aback. It was just brutal and chilling and good on American Horror Story for making it really an American horror story in real life.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't know much about the Manson murders either. I did research on Sharon Tate and just reading all about it. Like, her life was interesting in and of itself. And I gotta give props to the casting because the actress that played her looked a whole lot like her.
And somebody put a fake ass report out on the internet the day of. We haven't confirmed that Lily Rave is going to be Sharon Tate. I'm like, that is not fucking Lily Rave. I'm like, Rob, how do you pronounce her name? But
No, that was not Lily Rave at
I was
all.
like, at
And
all.
and no offense to Lily Rave, but she doesn't look like Sharon Tate. Like, this girl looked like her. Like, it's kind of creepy. Like, cause I pulled up her picture, and then I was like, let me just go back and look at Sharon Tate again, and it's kind of creepy. They do look very much alike. So yeah. So all right, because I already gave my opinion. So let's continue on with the story. And Kai has a plan, doesn't he always? And so they head on over to Planned Parenthood. They break in, and Gary's there thinking that the idea or the plan is to steal an abortion waiting list. But the militia end up trapping him inside, and the brand new Insane Clown Posse arrives, and Kai basically tells Gary that, he has a very special task for him, and it's more important than the Night of a Thousand Tates. And, he's going to be closer to him than any of the other children. And so Gary, in, I guess, the most appropriate Gary fashion, ends up accepting his fate. And the inner circle ends up stabbing him, and his body is discovered the following morning by a Planned Parenthood employee with the message, "Stop the slaughter." So our girl, Beverly motherfucking Hope, is outside reporting on the murder, and she interviews Kai, and Kai explains that Gary, was a friend, my very first supporter, and Kai accuses the incumbent senator of enabling zealots aka Antifa. No, the woke warriors, because I guess Antifa was taken by the real world, to murder Gary. And when the camera stopped rolling, Kaya's like, why are you, reporting this like some weather report? You need passion basically so that people can, listen to every word. And later on, we see that Beverly, is forever changed. Ever since she drank the fake Kool-Aid or the real Kool-Aid that wasn't poisoned, and ever since she was placed in the isolation chamber, and Winter takes responsibility for it, and she even gives Beverly a train ticket to, of all places, Butte, Montana. And she's like, no one will find you there. No one will look for you there. I will remain here. I will, distract Kai from looking for you. And Beverly thinks that this is some sort of test. And she's like, no, I will not run. You can tell the divine ruler that I will stick by him until the very end. So, let's pause right here. Let's talk about Gary Longstreet and Beverly motherfucking Hope. Priscilla?
Ding dong, the bitch is dead. Bye, Gary Longstreet. I've been waiting for you to die forever, and thank God you're dead. Like, that whole, but I've been with you forever, and you'll be with me forever now. You'll be my most loyal subject. I'm like, you told that to fucking Meadow, before she died too. This means nothing. Obviously, all of these deaths mean nothing to him, but
But it meant something to Gary. Gary creamed himself. Like
yeah,
when Kai said that. Like, oh yeah!
yeah, I totally got the feeling that Gary's like, and we'll be together forever. Our love eternal. I don't know. I just
Endless love.
do you believe? Aw, I just wanted to share. Do you
Do
believe in
you
life after
believe
love?
in life after love? Is that what you're about to say?
Yes.
Sing it, Mark. Or
I'm,
not.
I'm, I'm good. I'm good.
So when he died, I'm like, it's no. I'm not particularly. I wasn't attached to him. It was gonna happen at some point. Bye, girl. Bye.
Yes. I did love the guts hanging out. Like, that was just amazing.
Man, I loved how they found him. Like the girl was walking to work. Her tumbler falls. She picks it up and it's all covered in blood in the bottom. And then she slowly looks up, and there it is, the body lying in wait for her with the whole what did the sign say again? Like something like violence is bad or something like.
I think violence
Stop the
is,
slaughter.
yeah,
Yeah.
stop the slaughter, something like that. Yeah.
Can I just say, like, how, like, you get out your car and you don't notice, like, anything?
That's how people are nowadays.
I guess that is true. You're hooked onto your screens or whatever, but still, like, you would think you'd notice something, but I guess maybe not. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I put to my job and like, oh, you're still standing. I noticed that, but
Mm-mm.
So I don't know. I was kind of glad he died. As for what was the next
Beverly
point?
motherfucking Hope.
Oh God, I felt so bad for her. She's broken, man. That they did something to her with that isolation chamber, I think. Or was it the juice, you think? Because I remember when she drank the juice, and she and it turned out to be false. Like, she broke down crying, and that's how the commercial break ended. So I don't know, it was something about that moment that just broke everything for her. Like, she's no longer that fiery Beverly motherfucking Hope anymore. She has no hope. She's just Beverly now.
Yeah, I should start
And it
calling her Beverly
sucked.
Not So Motherfucking Hope.
She looked like a kicked dog when they were doing the news reel. Like she looked like she was flinching every time she was like getting close to Kai or putting the microphone up to him to speak. Like she was scared to like be near him. I felt bad for her.
Yeah, it looked like she was scared to look at him. I gotta give props to Dina Porter, because she played that beautifully. Like, the character is so different. Like, we've said this about Sarah Paulson and how she transformed from, like, weak Allie to, like, fierce Allie. Like, Adina Porter going from fierce Beverly to, like, weak Beverly has been really fascinating to watch. And yeah, I have no idea where Beverly's gonna go next, but like seeing her like call him divine ruler and to like when she drank the fake Kool-Aid to like now like drinking the Kool-Aid and like being submissive towards him, like it's so disturbing to see because it's not the strong woman that we saw in the first half of the season. And Gary Longstreet, bye bye. Like you's gone, you's dead, and you got a spectacular death though. Like if we saw like a bajillion stabs with the Tate murders, Gary Longstreet got a bajillion stabs himself. So, booyah. Mark, what about you? Did you cry? Did you do like a winter single teardrop for Gary Longstreet?
Apart from
No,
the apart from like the gunshot wound, like his death wasn't that bad, like compared to other.
Well, he also like chopped his hand off. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's true.
gunshot wound. When did he get
And
shot?
he had pee on him.
Hopefully he washed it off, but knowing him, he probably sat there and let the simmer and get
He
it.
probably
Anyway,
slurped it up.
when did he get shot again? I can't remember. He did they shoot him that night too?
No, they just
Hello.
stabbed him a lot, right?
No, because Priscilla said outside the gunshot room wound, he didn't die gruesomely. Are you still there, Priscilla?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you said he got a gunshot. Who got the gunshot?
Oh, I was thinking of Colton Hayden's character.
Oh, okay. He's about like the cult members. Oh, well, no. If y'all ever seen Grey Gardens, the scene with Little Edie doing the whole little dance with the flag and everything, please tell me y'all seen it.
Yeah, I've seen Grey Gardens.
Okay, that was me doing Gary Longstreet's death. Like yes, yes, yes. Thank God. But it was so stupid. It was like, okay, y'all concoct this whole plan for Gary, just for Gary's sake, to sit there and be like, cause he got out the car talking like, well, Harris is gone and dang, what was Colton Haynes' name?
Samuels.
So Samuels is gone. I'm big shit now. I'm big shit. He's walking like yeah, and the bros look at him like, dude, why you going to the front door? Why don't you go to the back where it's less obvious? He's like, oh yeah, right. And they doing all this, and I'm like, so when I saw the clowns come in, when he got locked in, I said he's the next to go. I was like, he's the next to go. I said I wanted this to be Allie or something like that, but like no, because that would have meant that the bros would have been up on her. So I said, no, this is them. And so when the clowns came in, I was like, okay. And then Kai's speech, I said, like, I need you to do me one last favor. I said, okay, this is again Kai wiping out the original cult members,
Mm-hmm.
And but at the same time, if Gary was that gullible, and he's that gullible, you could just told Gary at the dang house, we need to kill you. You're gonna be our sacrifice. You're gonna have to, but I guess they had to do it there. But it's like, why don't you just say we gotta do it at the? It was just like he's gullible. He's like, but I want to be with you, Kai. I want to stay with you. I'm like, dude, shut up and just die. Just somebody dagger him already. Just start stabbing. I'm like, this is so pathetic because even to the end, he was dumb as fuck. And I was like, I cannot with him. I'm like, please just have him dispatch this food.
He was like,
And
I got you, babe.
exactly. And Cher's probably home like, Chaz, what the fuck? Like, I mean, you didn't ask for a better out than that? Like, Jesus. Like, I could just see Cheryl Hall like, this is some straight up bullshit. I'm watching some bullshit here.
Gypsies,
But,
tramps, and thieves.
yeah, I love Cher. But no, I was just like, boy, bye. Hurry up and leave my screen. And then when the whole Beverly, I can't call her Beverly motherfucking Hope no more. I gotta call her Beverly Pathetic Hope because
Aww, that
it's
hurt.
just, it does hurt. It hurts tremendously because you saw this fierce woman be broken down, not once, but twice. Twice. And it's just like, what else can she take at this
Well,
moment?
would you have accepted a ticket to Butte, Montana? No offense to our listeners in Butte, Montana, but you know what I'm saying.
It don't have to be Butte, Montana. She could have just started off at Butte, Montana, then went somewhere else because, contrary to what Winter and Kai might believe, Kai does not have that much pull outside the damn town, and she could have went anywhere, and they could not have found her. Yeah, they probably had some people on the inside doing some stuff and everything like that, but again, there are people who actually do their jobs and then follow up on stuff. Why are you doing searches up for Beverly Hope? Like, what is your connection to this woman? Like, why are you wasting taxpayers' money searching for this missing missing journalist from God knows somewhere, Michigan? You know what I'm saying? So people would have started asking questions. So they could just. That's why I believe Allie and Ivy, if they'd have left, they'd have been fine because the only people who came looking
Well,
for them
Ivy
was
wouldn't have been fine, but
true. But I'm just saying that, they could have went somewhere. They could have started anew, and they probably want to change their names. Is because Kai does not have that much pull now. You know what I'm saying? Look at the people who showed up at his rallies. Like, that's a small group of people, and he really got a sympathy vote because he got shot. Outside of that, people probably don't give two shits about him, but I don't know. So I felt that she could have left, but they had. I felt that Beverly could have left, but they had destroyed her so much to the point that she was broken, and they didn't have to worry about her going anywhere. And I think that's why Kai is not even trying to take her out right now. It's just I have her where I wanted her because she's getting a little too big for her pants, and so I done nipped in the bud. So I'm finna just go ahead and just let her be my bitch, basically. And it was just seeing her call him the divine ruler. It just, I wanted to vomit. It was like, this is not the woman I've grown to love this year. This is worse than what she was before. I will say that. She's worse now than she was before. Because at least before she had a fighting spirit. But now it just seemed like that just that's snuffed out of her. So
yeah,
it's
I'm
tragic.
worried for Beverly
I'm so worried. I'm
because
so worried.
the OGs are disappearing,
Hmm.
and
She's the last one standing.
she's
She's
the
the
sole
last one standing
survivor, as
of the
Akon
original
would
crew.
say.
Yeah. I mean, even I don't count Allie because she came in late in the game. She came in after one of the bros joined the group.
I know, she's newer than the bros.
Yeah, so she's the last standing cult member, and I'm scared something's gonna happen to her next week.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. So continuing on with the story. So Kai is getting more paranoid than R&B singer Tyrese, and he's freaking out. Did you like that, Mark?
Shut up! I keep recapping. I'm
Okay.
sick of it.
And so he's searching for listening devices. He's paranoid. He's like, the feds are listening, all this kind of stuff. And so he ends up heading over to, I guess, what's considered the family tomb. And while he's there, Rudy, Dr. Vincent, starts talking to him. And Kai is having some sort of like hallucination of his brother giving him advice, but the advice is interrupted by Charles Manson, played, of course, by Evan Peters, played by Kai. And he actually has a great line of like, if anyone is going to give you, if you're going to hallucinate anyone giving you advice, it's going to be me. And so Manson basically tells Kai that he needs to find the mole and that he can't trust the women. And we get a flash of the character that was played by Winter in the Tate murder sequence. It was a real life person who sort of like was the weakest link in the group, and she sort of ended up, I guess, spilling the beans to the police about what was going on. And so Kai ends up, basically getting all this advice from his hallucination of Charles Manson. Allie arrives, and she has found the bug. And there's a knock on the door. He tells her to stay, and it is BB. And so BB and Kai have a talk in the basement, and basically she calls him like a disappointment, that everything that we talk about hasn't happened. Like, you haven't unleashed the female rage, and that he has killed women, and that basically everything that they had discussed hasn't happened. And so he basically like screams at her that she's like not competent to lead, that she must be led. And so BB ends up holding up a gun to Kai and like ready to execute the scum, but she is shot in the head by Allie. And so Allie's like, who the fuck is she? And Kai's like, my anger management counselor. And she's like, well, she did a great job. And then the hallucination of Charles Manson ends up telling Kai, oh, she can't be the one. She can't be the mole. And so Winter ends up shaving and cutting Kai's hair, and they share sort of like a brother-sister bonding moment, at least it seems. And he talks about, that maybe you should get some distance, and that maybe she should go away, because she starts talking about needing some time away, and he's like, I know where you should go. Boom, boom, boom. Butte, Montana. And she gets dragged away by the bros, and in the basement he starts interrogating her. He's claiming that she's the mole. He sees Charles Manson there. Allie starts, accusing her of being the mole. She talks about when her and Kai found a recorder in the ice cream truck. And Winter basically is like, you're doing all of this, and you're backing up my brother as payback for me and what I did, but you watch your back, because if he's going to turn on me, he's going to turn on you, basically. And she tries to pinky power with him, but he doesn't comply, and Charles Manson ends up, goading Kai to doing what he needs to do. And so he ends up choking the life out of Winter. And all of the bros, not all of them, but a bunch of the bros seem very uncomfortable by the whole situation, especially Speedwagon, who we follow as he runs out to his car, and he ends up unbuttoning his shirt. He has a recording device on himself. He ends up smashing it, and Allie ends up entering the car with a hello, Speedwagon. So let's break all of this down. Kai hallucinating Charles Manson, Winter and Kai, and BB. We gotta include BB and Speedwagon. Priscilla?
Wow, where do you want me to start? Because, like, you gave me
Wherever
a
you
bunch of
want.
stuff to... Oh my god. Okay, so for BB's death, I wasn't blown away. I was
Ooh,
just kind of,
too soon.
oh, that was too late.
Oh, I
Too
know,
late of a
right?
reaction. But I wasn't really like surprised by what happened. Like I was just waiting for like the shoe to drop. I was waiting for something else to happen because I'm like, he's not gonna die yet. There's more to this story. There's more juice to be squeezed from this orange still. So when she cocked the gun and all I hear is like another gunshot and she falls, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's because Allie was there defending him the entire time, and I loved her little quip at the end, like, who's she? My anger management person. She's not very good. She walks away. Just she's so cool. She's such a badass now. Where did she get all of this like badassery from? Like, maybe she should have gone into the insane asylum like ages ago. Because God, those 2 weeks did her a world of good. They did her more good than anything else this show has done to her. But yeah. So glad that BB is out of the picture because that just led up to the next part of it, the part with Winter's demise, and I was like, I knew it was leading up to to something happening to, and when you thought things were looking good, and that after shaving him that she was finally going to get some time off to rest and reflect before being able to come back to Kai fully recharged and re-energized to deal with his bullshit again. No, it turns out that all of the stuff that she was using against her to use with Beverly Hope came back and like was thrown in her face, and rightfully so. Beverly Hope got fucking shafted and is broken now because of you, bitch, because of what you did. And so now to have the tables being turned on you and having Kai be mad at you completely like makes sense. And I was hoping that she'd confess, be like, all right, I confess, just to like get away with it, because that's what I thought was gonna happen. I thought that she was gonna confess to something and that he was gonna let her go, and that we were still gonna be able to see her in the finale. But no, like the show ended up surprising me, and it ended up actually like going through with her murder, which I did not see them actually going through with it, and I'm so glad it happened, because if anybody deserved to die, it was Winter. God damn, it's like if the definition of two-faced in the dictionary would be Winter. Like, now is the winter of our discontent. That is Winter. Oh, I hate her. I'm so glad she's gone. Thank God. Bye, Winter.
Bye, girl. Mark, what about you?
I was, I'm like, Priscilla, where do you want me to start? I was just shocked that BB went out the way she did. I was like, for y'all to bring her back to give us this to explain the connection to BB and Kai, for her to come in and be like, in the now, after we know what the connection is, and she to tell him like, oh, you're screwing up. Then Allie comes down, blows her brains out, and it's like, okay, that's enough of that. We got through with that. I was kind of a little jarred. I was shook a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, but I wanted to see more of her. I wanted to see where this was going. What was her end game? And we knew what her end game was, but was she going to turn around and give like Allie and Beverly, like, okay, girls, I fucked with you the first time around, but this is the real deal. You know, that would have been a great ending. You know what I'm saying? If those three had teamed up. But Allie just took that away. The only good thing we got out of that whole entire scene was when Allie was like, who the hell is she? And then Kai was like, she was my anger management counselor. She said, oh, when she was bad at her job. And so I cracked up at that. But that was the only good thing that came out that entire scene. Now moving forward to the whole winter situation, and then Kai hallucinating Charles Manson, which was again a brilliant performance by Evan Peters. It was just awesome. And I knew then when they found, I'm doing air quotes, the bug. And then as soon as Allie took out BB, and then Charles Manson, the hallucination was like, oh, well, she's not the damn mole. And it was like, I knew then that Winter ass was good as dead. Because I said, somebody has to die in this episode. We've entered the territory of American Horror Story when the main cast members start dropping like fives. And so I was like, okay, Winter has to go, but maybe they'll save her death and they probably end up killing Beverly Hope instead. Because it already took out Gary and it might save two more big deaths to the finale, but they took out Winter. As an actress, I love Billie Lourd. And I love seeing her on the show. But it was sad because I was like, y'all are two-dimensional people, but I'm looking like Winter's death was like, it was tragic. It's the most tragic death out the entire season because even though because she was sort of a victim too, you know what I'm saying? To an extent. Don't get me wrong.
Really?
Hold up. Winter was a victim to an extent. To an extent. Now, I'm all for Allie being
A
nice.
victim
You know?
of doing bad things?
No, Jeff, I'm not. I am not. Winter
You were
was
not
a
the
victim.
one.
Winter was a victim of her brother's insanity, and because I don't think that she would have went down with all this stuff if she really was not truly scared of Kai. She knew what he was capable of, so she just went with the shit because she knew if she didn't go with it, something was probably end up happening to her, which is crazy because she knew all the time that Kai is capable of anything. So even when Beverly and Ivy were telling her, like, we got to get rid of Kai, she kept saying, no, you know, we got to protect Kai and stuff like that. But at the end of the time, but the whole entire time, like, but you know your brother is crazy. If he's willing to sit there and let our parents rot in the upstairs bedroom, and then after he killed your brother, that should have been due cause right there for you to just try to sit there and, like, run. But she did. I think it was sad because of the whole situation of him being the one to kill her. 'Cause I thought Allie was going to be the one to take her out. And this is what I was going to say earlier. Allie kind of did take out Winter. She did it. What's the word I'm looking for? She did it. Somebody help me the word where where somebody does something but they don't actually do it. Help?
They do
circumvented.
something, but they don't do it?
Say it again, Priscilla.
She circumvented. She used a puppet.
Yes.
Like,
Yes, that's what I meant. She circumvented the whole thing because Allie was the reason why Winter is dead. And so in one aspect of it, Allie got her revenge by taking out Winter in the most torturous way possible. Torturous, I don't know if that's a word. But she had her own brother kill her. And he strangled her. He could have easily slit her throat or stabbed her or anything like that, but he strangled her. And I was like, that is sad. But I mean, the character, you reap what you sow. I mean, what did she think she was going to get out of it? You know what I'm saying? Like, where else could you possibly go after all the shit you pulled? What did you really think was going to happen? You know, so in their aspect, it's like, okay, well, it's sad to see the character go, but at the same time, girl, you made your bed, now you finna lay in the 6 feet under. So, and the other thing I looked at is like, um, all you bros, if this man had killed his own brother and sister in front of you, what makes you think that you're not next? And true enough, they probably be willing to give their lives for him anyway already though. But it's like, you probably won't be able to see this promised land that he's trying to achieve because you're all expendable to him. And finally, I honestly God thought that Kai was just hallucinating or just paranoid about having a mole in the group. It was just something that he felt like each cult leader that he's aspired to be, or he was inspired by, all had somebody to turn their back on the cause, and that would end the whole thing to crumble. So he felt like he was getting to that point, and so he was taking out people left and right. But there actually was a bowl there, and I did not know it was Speedwagon. I mean, that shocked me because I'm like, oh shit, there is a bowl there. Because I'm like, how? Because I guess it was like, what would y'all think? Like, could y'all go into cover that deep? You know what I'm saying? Could y'all do that?
I'm doing that right now.
Don't say that. Don't
Freaking
say that.
Jeffrey.
But yeah,
Bum,
I
bum,
thought that
bum.
was crazy because I was like, shit, he's the bowl. And so I wonder what Allie wants with him now. I wonder if Allie's trying to save her old ass, or if she's sitting. Go ahead.
No, like, I honestly believe that he's been, like, he's had these really, like, manic moments where he believes that everyone's out to get him, where that he believes that there's a conspiracy out for him, like, where he believes that he hears this high-pitched humming sound, like, and it's not really there, and that's why, like, when she pulls out, like, the little battery from the Fitbit, that he actually believes that it's a recording device that Winter put on there, like, but it's not. I think the mole thing, it's probably like a recent development that's just like come up, but like I don't think they've planted recording devices anywhere in the house except for what he had on his body, on his person. Like, I think it's a combination of things.
Okay, because I was just shocked because I was like, so but it's like, how can you like? Well, I mean, just like, is Allie going to try to? I guess that's my question: is Allie going to try to work with Speedwagon, or is she going to try to take him out? Because that ending was so um open ended. Like, you can read what was on her face. You can read, it's like, hi Speedwagon, like, and more like, or was she saying like, hi, I need your help, or hi, what do you think you're doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because hell, who's to say that Allie might not take over this damn cult? I don't know. It just, the ending was so vague, and I was like, oh God, I'm so nervous going into next week. I'm so nervous. But I'll get into that in a few minutes.
All right. Rudy, undead and talking, fantastic makeup. It's just awesome because
Yeah.
Cheyenne Jackson looked like he was decomposing. It was amazing. Charles Manson, and Charles Manson with the wild hair, and then Charles Manson with the swastika. Very creepy and very well done by Evan Peters. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very nice.
Winter, you might have a fan and a supporter in Mark,
Oh my God.
but I don't think you're innocent, nor do I think whatever Mark was saying.
Whatever Mark was really, Jeff? Okay,
Yes, I
fine.
don't believe in Mark right now.
Whatever.
I was not trusting any of that. He has drank the winter Kool-Aid, And you know what? That's fine.
I
But
love Billy Lord.
I like
I
Billy Lord
see.
too, but I don't. Winter, you got into that mess yourself. I agree with Priscilla. She was flip flopping too much. She should have just
I said the
stuck.
same thing.
I know, but you're still drinking the Kool Aid a little.
I'm not drinking no
You
Kool-Aid.
did. You cried for Winter.
I didn't say I cried. Oh, I did not say anywhere at that
Well,
time
you
that I
had the
cried for
single
women. I said it
teardrop,
was
the Billy
sad.
Lord single
I didn't have
teardrop.
nope, 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 nope. Don't do that.
It was
Don't do
close
that.
enough. But yeah, I'm cool with her dying. And it was, set in motion by Allie. So kudos to Allie because you did this. And she did exactly the same thing that Winter did to Beverly Hope. So, Winter, suck on your own medicine. It's fantastic. BB dying, it was just fantastic. You know, like, really, girl? Like, you thought this man was gonna turd himself for you and scum manifesto everything? Like, you picked the wrong one. Like, this, oh, God, for like, as much of a planner and whatnot as you were, like plotting and scheming and hoping to continue on Valerie's work, you were pathetic, to be quite honest. Like, you really picked the wrong person. And Allie was spectacular. Like, I really wish she would have added like the little line of like, because everyone is being all like divine ruler to him, like for her to sort of like quote unquote play along. Like, I wish she would have said like, "I'm sorry for moving, but who was this bitch?" or something like that. That would have been kind of fantastic. But they didn't go that route, so it's fine. Um, I did love Charles Manson. They're like, "Oh, she hit the mole." I'm like, really? Like, you, even as a hallucination, you have bad judgment as well. And Speedwagon was a surprise, completely unexpected because like he really seemed like down for the cause, like in every episode that we've seen him like so far. So I wonder when he turned and who turned him, and is Allie involved? Like, did Allie get to him before? And, like, that whole meetup is Allie saying, like, hey, did you get it? Or is Allie gonna kill him? I genuinely have no idea what's gonna happen in the next episode. I do hope Allie and Beverly are alive by the end of it all. I have a feeling it's more than likely just gonna be Allie and Oz. But I do hope Beverly is around there, like giving the news coverage of whatever the hell ends up happening. Because I feel like Kai's either going to die or he's going to go to jail, or both. And
Um, uh,
everything else, I don't know what's gonna happen because you have all this like militia. So are they gonna kill them all? Is it just gonna be like Allie and Beverly turn into Rambo and they've got like machine guns and they're like and like, mow down the militia with like machine guns? I don't know. But that would be awesome to see, to be quite honest. The visual was amazing in my head.
yeah, I was gonna ask. I was gonna say I don't about the Speedwagon. When did he? I think he was always there. I think that he was always a mole. But I guess the question now becomes
Who's he mulling for?
exactly. And I bet you 9 times out of 10, it probably was something going on. It's probably a local enforcement because people probably have been keeping an eye. Because the thing is about some of the cult leaders, they think they're smart, but they're really not that smart because they underestimate, just like some people underestimate them, they underestimate others. So I'm believing that probably when soon as Kai probably won the election and you know that's probably when, because think about it, when Kai won that election, that's when all those people showed up, all the bros showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of the bros probably were like coming on their own fruition, but somebody's like, oh, that's the perfect time to insert a mole into the cult is because he's going to accept them. You know what I'm saying? You know, for his cause, 'cause he needs an
Yeah.
army. And so I'm thinking that here's what probably ended up happening. Maybe Allie, they probably had some intel. Allie probably had some stuff that probably helped the police or something like that. But she probably withheld some stuff to, you know, cover her tracks rather because she hasn't really. Uh, the only person she's killed was Ivy off the premises of the the Kai's property. But where did Ivy's body end up? On in his property. So I'm thinking that Allie did all the shit that she's doing so it can be lined up to look like Kai did everything and then she still ends up being the victim. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking that she has she has his card that she probably knows Speedwagon is the damn mole, or that she knows that there's a mole inside the community, but it's not who she knew it wasn't Winter, of course, but she knows it has to be one of the bros. Because we know it's not Beverly. We know it's not we knew it wasn't Gary Longstreet. You know what I'm saying? And
See, this is where I wish that they would not have killed off Mayor Winningham's Sally. Because, like, if,
yeah,
like, they would have introduced Sally and then she would have disappeared, and then they could have brought her back for the finale. Like,
yeah.
aha! You know, I've been investigating your punk ass, and I have all this evidence to take you down, or some crap like that.
And who's to say that Sally is not the reason why they got the mole going on? Because probably somebody was like
Oh,
looking
that would
at
be interesting if, like, before she died, and, like,
they
maybe her
yeah.
death inspired them all. I don't know
Yeah,
who it could be played by.
it's gonna be interesting.
It's Lily Rabe.
That would be hot if her mom, if that was her, if Sally was her mom, and she's coming back in the finale, like, or it could be an old American Horror Story character, so like that probably pops in at the end of the season, like, yes, bitch, I'm back,
Constance.
and yes, so
No, it's not Jessica Lange.
that'd be hot if it was Jessica Lange. I think everybody would fucking die. Oh shit! But I just feel like Speedwagon was there. He's been molding from day one.
Mole,
So
mole, mole. Sorry.
it was
All
fun.
right. So now it is time for the MVP, the most valuable player. Which character impressed you the most and why? And the rules are simple. If someone states a character, you must select a different one. No repeats. So who will go first? All right. Well, since Mark was saying stuff last, I think it's fair for Priscilla to go first.
I agree.
Priscilla?
Ooh, okay. I was hoping to go last, but I'll go first. um, I didn't have anyone. I didn't have anyone in particular in mind this episode, except for you're gonna have to help me with this because I don't remember I remember the actress's name, but I don't remember what the name of the character she played at the time was. The really evil chick from the group of the Helter Skelter killings.
So Sarah Paulson's character
Yeah,
as Helter Skelter, that
yeah.
was Susan Atkins.
Susan Atkins, yeah. Susan Atkins gets my MVP this time around. She was evil. God, like seeing her, like just I don't know, just made me wonder how something like that could happen in real life. Like I don't know, just made me feel all scared. Glad that doesn't happen in my neck of the woods. So yeah, definitely that.
Mark, your MVP and why?
Oh Jesus, I don't know.
Rip the band-aid off.
I
Oh, I know who you're gonna pick.
no, it's not who you think it's gonna be. I'm gonna
Oh,
actually
okay.
shock y'all. Actually,
BB?
I was gonna go. Okay, it was gonna be either her or Kai, but I'm gonna go with BB because Kai was not focused this season, this episode, and he was starting to unravel. But I would give it to BB because I always said earlier this season that I felt that there has to be a Queen Bee. Can we say that BB? Because I'm going with BB, but I'm going to say, can we say that BB has been the Queen Bee and they killed the Queen Bee? You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Can we
yeah.
say that?
She can't
Because
birth no more babies.
because she's technically the one who got this all started. If we are really, you know, if what we see is true, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, BB was the one who pretty much, I mean, the seed was already planted in Kai. It was already there. She pretty much honed it. You know what I'm saying? She nurtured it, watered it, planted it real well. And then when the seed got to the point it got out of hand, she came to reckon, but she just had a crazy death. But the fact that she sat there and started all of this mess, and it really wasn't just Kai's idea, um, I give it to her because I had no idea that she had anything to do with the birth of this insanity. So there goes my MVP.
All right. My MVP is Winter. No. No, my
No one
MVP.
picking Winter during the episode of her death. Now I feel bad for not choosing her.
You had first dibs.
I know I could have. I felt bad, but oh well. Too bad. Whatever. I'm not changing my mind.
You don't feel as bad as Mark.
No.
No.
Oh, poor Mark. I'll hand you a tissue.
What?
I am going to give it to Beverly Not So Motherfucking Hope. Just because Adina Porter did a really great job of, like, playing basically a different character. A
Exactly.
brutally broken Beverly Hope. A Beverly Hope without hope. A Beverly Hopeless. A submissive, divine ruler following, I ain't taking your Butte, Montana train ticket, Beverly Hope. And, good grief, it's just like every scene, even when she was like just in the background, like the scene of Winter's death, when she and Allie like turn their heads because they don't really want to see it, and like because they also know that that could happen to them. Like, oh, it's just really intense. Like, in my opinion, like the past two seasons, like Adina Porter has been like a revelation. Like, she has been an incredible addition to the American Horror Story like repertoire, like the cast of favorites, Ryan Murphy favorites. So I'm so glad that she was involved in this season, and I'm really loving what she's doing with Beverly Hope. So Beverly Hopeless is my MVP. Now it is time to rate the episode on a scale of 1 to 10 clown masks. The point system is allowed, and if you found the episode exceptional, worthy of more than 10, you may grant it the coveted Twisty the Clown mask. We're going to spice it up. Mark, you're first.
I'm going to give the episode a 9. I'm not giving it a 10 because there were some things like the BB's death was. It was it was a give and take. Like they gave us BB, gave us the stuff, and then with her, then they took her away as soon as they did that. And then Gary Longstreet's death, even though it was stupid, even though I enjoyed it, it was still just pointless and stupid. It was like y'all could have killed him like 5 episodes ago. But
Aw.
not to say that Chaz Bono has not been giving us, a great performance. It's just that the character was just he irked the fuck out of me. So
He's down for the cause.
he's down for the cause. He's down 6 feet under now. So that's why I'm giving it a 9. And plus, also, it still set up a finale that could go anywhere. And I mean it in a good way and in a bad way too, because I'm just so scared that this finale is going to be so polarizing, just because the season's been so awesome. It's going to just leave a lot of people feeling some type of way. But it was a great setup to the finale, so it gets a 9.
Yeah. Maybe Kai will be twerking in the kitchen.
He needs to be twerking in the damn jail cell. He needs to be here.
Yes. Priscilla, what about you? How would you rate the episode?
I want to give it 8, because as much as I like found like the violent parts of it like enthralling, and as much as I found like the parts where he was going mad kind of like chilling too to see, like there's like this magic that there's this magic something or other that I didn't really get this episode, and I'm hoping to get it in the finale to make it like a clown mask worthy finale. But for now, 8 clown masks.
Okay. I'm going to give the episode. I'm going to split you guys in the middle. I'm going to give it an 8.5. I thought it was a decent episode, a great setup to the finale. I feel like this was a great sort of a peek and a tease of what's to come, because they got rid of BB and Gary and Winter this episode. I feel like we're gonna get like a balls to the wall, like insane finale. So I was pretty content with everything that I saw. I thought it was a decent episode. I don't really know what I could say was sort of lacking, but an 8.5 is still is a pretty decent grade. If you would convert an 8.5 to like an actual letter grade, it's still sort of like in the B range. So it was a decent episode. So on that note, join us next time for a brand new installment of Are You Afraid Cult? Once again, here's our announcer to remind you on how you can interact with us.
Follow Poppy Chula Radio on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Poppy Chula Radio. Do you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns? Email us via contact@poppychularadio.com. Are you interested in joining the Poppy Chula Radio team as an on-air personality? Email talent@poppychularadio.com. Binge listen to your favorite Poppy Chula Radio programs by visiting poppychularadio.com/archives. You can also download tonight's broadcast and the rest of the series through Apple Podcasts and Google Play. Just search for Are You Afraid, Cult, and subscribe.
Thanks, announcer. My co-hosts, please wish the listeners a good night.
Peace.
Good night.
Thanks for tuning in. Download new episodes of Are You Afraid Cult every Thursday via Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and the Poppy Chulo Radio archives. Good night.